or anime dub in narration, Tomie's The Painter. If you're enjoying the tale at any point in time, please do not hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe. Today is the day of my art exhibition. I have all kinds of amazing pieces to show off. My colleagues and mentors praise me as the standard that all artists will be held to. There is nothing that I cannot paint with precision and grace. Oh, how rude of me. I didn't introduce myself. My name is Mr. Mori, and Nana is the current model that I've been using as inspiration. But on that day, things changed. I seen a girl of unparalleled beauty. She observed my paintings and praised my direction. But then she explained that the model in the picture, although pretty, looked a tad bit foolish. She then let out a chuckle and said that perhaps that she would be a better model. Later that day, Nana and I worked in my studio, working together to produce a painting, but I couldn't help but feel that something wasn't right. It was the words of that girl. They were uttering in my mind. I couldn't forget them. That was when this strange yet beautiful woman showed up to my studio, mocking me for still using Nana as the same model. To make matters worse, that vixen told lies. She said to Nana that I was sick of using her as my model, and that I would rather use her instead. In a flustered fury, Nana then ran out of the studio in anger. After this, the woman introduced herself as Tomie. She boastfully explained that it looked like I was now in need of a new model, and of course, she was right. She said that she was willing to stand in. Eyeing her up and seeing her beauty, I couldn't help but agree. There was something weird about the whole situation. How did Tomie find my house? Did she follow me? I asked her these questions and she explained that she had knew it was my house because of how splendid it was. I replied flirtingly, saying that it would be a problem if people like her kept coming in without asking. Proudly, she remarked that what I was saying was true, but that she was a girl like no other. After all, there was no girl as beautiful as her. I quite liked her confidence. I was going to make this painting my best one yet, but she questioned me on whether or not I'd be able to successfully illustrate her beauty. This only motivated me further. She explained how many artists had tried before, but that none of them were able to truly capture her beauty. For Tomie wanted to preserve her beauty in a tangible form. That way, it could last forever. Finally, after a long time together, I had finished. It was perfect. Surely she would just have to love it. But as she made her way over, she took but one look and chuckled. She mocked me, asking if my rendition was but a joke. Then she left, uttering that she had placed her hopes too high in me, that she would look for someone else. I tried to stop her, but before I knew it, she was gone. But how could she not like it? It was my magnum opus. Ugh! That girl thinks too much of her own looks. But as the night waned on, I began to drink. And the more I drank, the more I looked at my portrait. I began to believe her words. Perhaps she was right. Maybe the picture did look a bit dull. It wasn't just the alcohol speaking. I truly had not captured even 10% of her real beauty. If she wouldn't have told me, I would have never realized in my arrogance. I tried to paint the piece over and over again, but the result was never better. I needed to find Tomie. I needed to have her as my model once more. It was the only way that I could truly capture her beauty. I found myself at the local bar. That is when an old colleague of mine found me. He questioned what I was doing here, all bummed out. As we started to chat, I explained that I would be postponing my next exhibition. After all, I needed to have my works of Tomie star in it, but I wasn't even close to finishing. My colleague explained how a colleague of his was a sculptor, and that he had a very beautiful model. He showed me a picture of him with the model, and apologized that the photo was a little blurry, but it was undeniable. The girl in the photo was Tomie. I had to find him. I had to take Tomie back. She was mine. A sculptor like him could not possibly capture even 1% of her beauty. I made my way to his studio and banged rapidly. He opened the door, but something was off about him. He looked dead in his complexion. I asked him about his depictions of Tomie, but he said that he wouldn't show me them. But I had to see them. Tomie is mine after all. I'm the one that has to illustrate her. I forced my way in, hitting him with a heavy object on the head. That was when I came across his art room, but something was wrong. All of the sculptures were in pieces. I found Tomie crying. She explained how scared she was, and that the sculptor had gone deranged. He smashed all of his works and then even threatened to kill her and chop her up next. She expressed that he had made the perfect sculpture of her, but then he destroyed it into nothingness. And now, she would no longer be able to preserve her beauty forever. I comforted her and explained that I would capture her beauty, that this time, I would achieve 100% of her beauty in canvas form. She thanked me happily, and we returned to my studio. Once there, we began painting at once. But wow, was she gorgeous. I've never seen a girl so beautiful, ever. I told her of her unparalleled beauty, and she responded by telling me a story. She said that this was not the first time she was attacked and almost killed by a man. Apparently, every man that had fallen in love with her tried to kill her and cut her into pieces. But I wasn't paying attention. I was finally done. I had painted her beauty perfectly. My masterpiece. Look, Tomie. But what was wrong with her? She called me the worst painter ever. She said that I depicted her like a monster, and she knocked my quintessential work to the floor. She then started laughing at me maniacally. I remember that wretched laughter. But what was so funny? Why was it so funny? That was how I killed Tomie. It's fairly obvious what I did with the body after that. For days I stared at her ruined body, but after 4 days had passed, her dismembered limbs began to mutate and grow. The cells dividing and the flesh starting to swell. What a remarkable constitution this girl has. Eventually, all of these parts will grow into identical copies of her. Yet, I probably will not see it happen, because day by day I become thinner, and now I can't even walk. I simply wait for death. Ah, Tomie, beautiful Tomie. Hi everyone, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please do not hesitate to subscribe to the channel. If you fancy seeing an alternate version of this story in manga form, check it out tomorrow, December the 2nd. You won't want to miss it. I would like to take this time now to give a very special thanks to James Abel, Banger Prophecy, Moto Surf, Dennis Cork, and Pteranodon Girl 1. I appreciate you all so much for your kind donation and for supporting the channel, as well as each and every one of you who watch and comment on the video. After all, a storyteller is nothing without someone who's willing to listen. If you enjoy this format, don't forget to let me know in the comments below, or suggest other stories that you'd like to hear. Thank you very much for listening, and remember, you are important and you matter. Have a good night, everyone. Goodbye.